the beginning. I love this story. A lot of people love this story. It means a lot to me personally. I tried to think, this is obviously our last day together. So I tried to think, what can I do to maybe help you on our last day? What can I teach? What can I advise? Can I give you a morsel of something? So I decided to talk about one of my favorite subjects, me. What I want to do is tell you a little bit about my life. I was a pretty average high school student. I was a B student, if you will. Not great, not terrible. I was a good English student. My parents always encouraged me to follow my bliss. So I decided to get my English BA from SUNY Cortland in upstate New York, the finest phys ed school in the country. Needless to say, when I graduated from college, I had a really, really hard time getting a job out of work. I had to move back home. I sent in applications, resumes. Nobody was responding. And I was getting a little frustrated. But then I finally got that phone call. And I got a call back for a second interview. Because I knew I had blown them away in the first one. And then I got my first job when I graduated from college. My first job, post-college graduation, I was to be a sales associate at Dick's Sporting Goods. I had big plans. And I said, I knew I had blown them away at the interview. I was supposed to start on a Saturday. But I got a phone call that Friday before from my manager, Rick Haskins. And he said to me, Craig, we need you for a special project. Can you come in early? I thought to myself, oh my God, this is it. Absolutely, I'll be there, Rick. And so I put on my uniform, and again, I thought, man, I blew them away. And I put on my khakis and my Nikes and my green short sleeve collared shirt. I had my name tag on, and I went to my first job that Friday. And I remember I walked in to Dick's in Latham, New York. I'm like, Rick, how are you? And again, Rick was like, Craig, again, I'm sorry. We have this special project. Only you can do it. I'm like, Rick, who do you need me to fire? Let's do this. And I remember he goes, Craig, follow me. And I followed Rick to the center of the store. And you can tell they were reorganizing the store. Because in the middle of the store, I just saw countless and countless and countless boxes. I had never seen so many boxes in my life. And Rick said, Craig, I'm sorry. We got an overshipment. We need you to put them in order by size and ship them back. And I realized I got down on my hands and my knees, and I started to go through these boxes. And inside all these boxes were athletic supporters. And if anyone's not sure what an athletic supporter is, it's a euphemism for jockstrap. And what I had to do on my hands and knees was go through these jock straps and assort them by size. Extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. I don't know if anyone's ever seen an extra large athletic supporter up close. It's a lot like a goalie mask. It's pretty impressive. It was big. And so I had to sort these by size, and I put them in order. And after the first hour, it was getting warm, and they didn't have the air conditioning turned on. So I started to sweat. And I could feel it in my back, my pits, my hair, and I started getting this one drip down the bridge of my nose. And as I was working, I heard something. I heard, hey, Craig. And I looked up, and it was Jennifer Bowen. It was this girl I had had a crush on for a while. And she looked at me, and I looked up at her, and she could see the bead of sweat going down the bridge of my nose. And she surveyed the scene, and she saw me knee-deep in a sea of jock straps. And I remember she said, I can see you're busy. I'll see you later. And I watched Jen Bowen kind of walk off into the distance. And I was left with this one bead of perspiration that just kind of dripped down to the floor. And I was on my hands and knees in Dick's Sporting Goods. I remember thinking to myself, I always thought my college degree would do more for me than this. But you know my middle name by now, right? It's perseverance. And I persevered. At that time in my life, I started going to grad school at night. Again, my parents always encouraged education. They figured you could never go wrong getting more education. So I went to the College of St. Rose in Albany, New York, part-time for my English master's. I had no idea or desire to teach, for one. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew English was the one thing I was good at and was going to try to stick it out a little bit. But I kept working at Dick's full-time. And in 1996, I was bestowed with one of the greatest accolades of my life. In 1996, I was named the Dick's Sales Associate of the Year. And what do you know? I still happen to have the plaque to prove it. Oh, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. When you were the Dick's Associate of the Year in 1996, there were two perks. One, $50 gift card, which was awesome in and of itself. But I wanted the other one. Because when you were the Associate of the Year, they took your picture with your plaque, in your uniform, with your khakis, and your shirt, and they would take a picture, and then they would hang it in the rafters for the whole year. So for the next 365 days, from 9 in the morning to 9:30 in the evening, everyone would know that me, Craig Champagne, was the Sales Associate of the Year. And I still remember when they took my photo. Do me a favor, humor me for just a second. I just, on the count of three, can we just all say cheese at the same time? So I was proudly standing with my plaque. And the guy who took the picture, 1, 2, 3, cheese! Snap! And I was told that in 2 days, my picture with my plaque would be in the rafters for all the world to see. And in that time, I was getting excited. I was thinking about the possibilities. All right, today, sales associate. Tomorrow, department manager. And maybe 6 months, front-end manager. 8 months, store manager. You give me a year, I'm going to be running this company. Things are looking up. And for those 2 days, man, I got to work on time. I had my uniform on. I had a hop in my step. Things were going my way. And then 2 days later, I had the morning shift. Again, I put on my uniform, and I got to work just a little bit early because I wanted to see that plaque. And I remember when I got to the store, and I walked in. I swiped in, and I turned, and I looked at the rafters, and there it was. Me, the Associate of the Year, holding the plaque for all the world to see. But then I walked a little bit closer, and I looked a little bit, and then it was there. But it was a little bit different than I had imagined. Can we do the 1, 2, 3 cheese thing one more time? And I'll show you what I saw. When I looked up, I saw this. 1, 2, 3, cheese! My eyes were closed. And for the next 365 days, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9:30 at night, friends, family, and strangers would see me in my uniform with my name tag, holding my plaque with a big smile on my face and my eyes closed. And I remember when I saw that picture, I had two simultaneous thoughts going through my mind. The first was, oh shit. The second was slightly different. Always the English major at heart, I could see the metaphor at play. That somehow, even through my grandest achievements, it always seemed as if I was sleepwalking through life. Shortly after